Hello, I'm Robert Chu from Chewerks Garage. As you can tell, this is not my personal garage like last time when we used to do the Technik videos. I sort of outgrew that space and I needed a little bit more space to work on all my toys and all my friends' toys, I guess you could say. And today we're going to be installing a Spoon N1 exhaust system, but today Karla Pestotnik is going to help me out with the install.
Hello.
Obviously, when doing an exhaust system, you want to let it cool down as much as you can. Otherwise, unless you like burnt fingers and burnt skin, that's not recommended, right?
Not recommended, yes.
Okay, spray it all.
All right. So basically, I'm spraying all the nooks and crannies of the bolts connecting to the stock cat. So I'm also going to spray the exhaust hangers as well, because sometimes with age and corrosion, they get a little bit hard to remove as well. So there's 2 hangers in the back, one above each muffler on the stock exhaust.
We're removing the rubber hangers on the muffler section, so that way it could hang a little bit.
So basically, I'm going to remove this lower subframe brace so that when we remove the exhaust, it'll make our lives a lot easier because the exhaust is one piece. Otherwise, this bar is going to get in the way.
So we're going to be removing the oxygen sensor, just a regular 22 wrench. Remove that. We're going to be transferring this to the test pipe and then just plug it back in and good to go. So we're going to remove the bolts that connects the catalytic converter to the header. And once we do that, it's just 2 more hangers and the whole exhaust system should drop down. So there's 2 spring-loaded bolts that are holding the catalytic converter to the header. And since we have a new test pipe with the Spoon exhaust system, from the header back is going to be a complete new system. And I remember from the last video when we did the S2000 suspension install, everybody was complaining why I didn't use air tools. I'm not a fan of air tools. I guess I like to be intimate with my cars. So right now I'm just supporting the exhaust system while I remove this rubber hanger, because as soon as I remove this rubber hanger, the whole exhaust system is going to drop down. And since I only have 2 hands, I don't want to be trying to support both things at the same time on removing the rubber hanger. Ready? Carry it back. And there you go. So now that we have the stock exhaust system out, we're going to be installing the Spoon N1 exhaust system. Probably the best way to do it is to sort of pre-assemble the exhaust system as one unit, but don't fully tighten the bolts yet because you want to be able to adjust this, the exhaust a little bit to make sure it lines up against the hole on the bumper so it doesn't melt the bumper and stuff like that. So just pre-install it, just hand tighten the bolts, and then once the exhaust system's on the vehicle, then you could adjust the exhaust a little bit and make sure everything's lined up and then crank the bolts down afterwards. So as you can see by the comparison of the Spoon exhaust system versus the stock exhaust system, it's considerably lighter and considerably smaller. Obviously, there's only one exhaust coming out versus the dual design of the factory exhaust system. As I recall, I think it's a 60mm design, very small glass pack or muffler section, and it comes with the new gasket, so we're going to start assembling it.
So the benefits of the Spoon exhaust versus the stock exhaust is obviously the weight savings are quite significant. The stock exhaust is very heavy. Spoon did a couple of things when they designed this exhaust, and one of the biggest things they did is they actually pushed the resonator slightly forward closer to the engine. So the reason why they did that, it was proven through track testing that actually improved the car's performance due to shifting the weight forward towards the front of the car.
Obviously, the Spoon exhaust system comes with new gaskets. So we're going to use just putting the new gaskets on and hand tightening the bolts together. And then we're going to lift up the exhaust system onto the car. So why don't you do the test pipe to the resonator section, and I'll do the resonator to the exhaust. you go. All right, now that we got all the bolts hand tightened, we're going to transfer the rubber hangers onto the spoon exhaust system. Now that the rubber hangers are on the spoon exhaust system, we're just going to hang it onto the vehicle and then tighten all the fasteners down. Ready?
Yep.
Wow, it's definitely much lighter.
It is definitely much lighter, that's for sure.
All right, let's see.
I'm gonna need those bolts, that's okay. So now that all of the exhaust hangers are on, we can put our 2 spring-loaded bolts back in and tighten everything down.
The bolts are not really lined up, so obviously you need to do some twisting action on the exhaust to make sure they're all lined up, and you want to make sure all the bolts are straight. There's no interruption in exhaust flow. And should be good. Okay, let's tighten this guy down first. So I'll use the 212mm. That's good. So now I'm gonna tighten the 3 fasteners that connects the test pipe to the resonator section. So now we're gonna tighten the resonator to the muffler section. Just again, try to adjust it as much as I can to make sure it's as straight as possible. So now we're going to reinstall the subframe brace that we removed earlier so we could remove the stock exhaust system. And just put it back on as the way we took it out. We are going to reinstall the O2 sensor, or oxygen sensor, back into the test pipe. Just crank it down. There you go. So we're just going to reconnect the oxygen sensor wire back to where it was removed earlier. Make sure you hear it click, and there you go. So tight. Make sure it's not rattling against any heat shield or chassis or part of the chassis.
So out of the box, Spoon puts a silencer in the exhaust. So I'm just gonna remove the silencer so we can hear exactly what it's gonna sound like. So take out the bolt, remove the silencer, that's it. So it looks like our job here is complete. Thank you for watching our YouTube install for the Spoon N1 exhaust.
Thank you.